Hello there. I'm going to do something a little bit different today. Today I'm in my office and I'm going to spend just a couple of minutes talking to you about things that I use when you come into the office for a visit. And this is my office. I'm going to flip it around so that you can see. I think I'm going to flip it around so that you can see the rest of my office and see what all I have in my office. Um, I have pictures of my kids. Um, I have lots of pictures of my kids. I have a book on the computer. And I have all of this equipment that we use when you come to the office. This is a thermometer. We use it to take your temperature. 98.2, mine is normal. This is a pulse oximeter. And I'm going to hold this just like this. We put it in your finger just like this, and it starts beeping. And it tells you your heart rate, which is minus 77, your pulse oximeter. This is called a waveform. And it takes a little while for this. It just got turned on, so it's taken a while for the numbers to go up. My pulse ox is 97% right now. That's really good. My heart rate is 72. That's normal. This is a blood pressure cuff. We put this on your wrist, and it gives your arm a little bit of a squeeze. And it tells us, see, and we put it like this. This tells us how much pressure your heart is squeezing with. Oh, I think the battery's dead on this one. It will, yeah, it's beeping that the battery's dead. It will squeeze, and then it will give you a number, two numbers, one on top, one on bottom, that tells us how well your heart is squeezing and how well your heart is relaxing. Those get done even before you go into the room. Then there's things that I use. I use a stethoscope. I put it in my ears and I listen to your heart. And I use an otoscope and I look in your throat. And I might ask you to say, ah, so I can look at the very back of your throat. And I will put it in your ears to look at your ears. Sometimes I might shine it in your eyes. There are some other things, and you're probably pretty used to that. There are some other things that you're going to see us wearing that we do to help us to keep from spreading germs. One thing you'll notice when you come in, a lot of times we'll put hand sanitizer on your hands. And we'll rub it in. You might notice that we wash our hands a lot more. You'll also notice when you leave the office that we put this on your hands before you leave, and we're actually opening and closing the doors for you so that you're not touching the door handles and getting germs that way. But you might see that we look a little different than we used to. We might wear a mask to protect us from any droplets, which are little, when you cough or sneeze, you make little tiny drops that are called droplets. So we wear masks so that if somebody coughs or sneezes, those droplets don't go anywhere. They stay in the mask. And we pinch it over our nose to get a good tight seal. We have it over our chin. You might see a lot of people wearing these. Then we want to protect our eyes, because if you cough or sneeze, it can get in your eyes too. So we put on our safety glasses. Sometimes if we're doing something where we think there might be a lot more droplets, like if we're swabbing your throat for strep throat bugs, we might even put this on. That makes us all look really scary because you can't see our facial expressions. But most of the time, even though you can't see our facial expressions, I'm going to set that right here for now. And I'm going to take these off. And I have a little sack. And I put all my stuff in my little sack at the end of the day. I hang my glasses here. I take my mask off and I smile because these are a little bit hot. And I put my mask in my sack. So everything, you know how your parents always tell you to put things up? Everything has a place. And the reason that we're doing this is because of a virus that is called coronavirus. It also has another name, SARS-CoV-2. That's a long name. And it causes a kind of infection that we call COVID-19 because it started in the year 2019 and it has gone all the way across the globe. And you are seeing people be extra careful because this is a new virus. Sometimes we call things that are new novel, not like a novel like you read, but novel like new. And that just means that we don't know quite how it's going to act, so we have to be extra careful about it. And I'm going to read you a book off the computer that is called Charlie Learns About Coronavirus. So let's see if I can get you to see the computer. I'm going to turn around, and this may not work very well. Charlie Learns About Coronavirus. So that's Charlie. So let's see if I can get this going for you. Hi, I'm Charlie. Things have been sort of weird at my house. School is closed and it's not even summer and my parents aren't going to their jobs. Dad says it's because of coronavirus. I had a bunch of questions. So here he is with his mom and dad. So, all right. So the next page. My dad said, Charlie, you ask very good questions. I just don't know all the answers. I think your Aunt Chris can help. My aunt is a scientist. She knows a lot about germs. She lives in the same building we do. She lives in this... But my dad told me I had to call her on the phone. So they must live in an apartment building, but he can't even walk down to his aunt's house, just like if you live across the street from your grandma or grandpa. A lot of times your folks are saying you can't walk over there. So, see, there's the picture of Charlie with his dad, and his dad's on the phone. Looks like Dad's got a smartphone. Aunt Chris was happy I called her. She told me that even though we live close, we have to stay apart right now. That's because of a type of germ called a virus. People call it coronavirus or SARS-CoV-2, and they call the infection COVID-19. Aunt Chris said that when people get close to each other, it's easy to share germs. That's why we have to talk on the phone, and that's why my school is closed. All right. He's talking to his aunt. Dad's standing by. I learned that most people who get the virus feel like they have a cold or the flu. So that means that they may feel a little achy. They may have a little cough. They may run a little bit of a fever, but sometimes they don't even have symptoms at all. These people can stay home and rest to get better, and usually kids don't get too sick. But this virus can make some people very sick, like my grandma because she's older, and my friend Arthur because he has asthma. They can get so sick that they have to go to the hospital. That made me feel worried. And see, he's thinking about his grandma, and he's thinking about his friend Arthur. Arthur's got his inhaler that he's using. But my aunt told me not to worry. She said that lots of doctors and other adults are working hard to keep everybody safe and healthy, and that made me feel better. She told me that kids can help too. Charlie, she said, your job is to be a germ buster. Here's how I bust germs. Oh, and there's somebody wearing a mask and a doctor with a stethoscope. All righty. I wash my hands with lots of bubbles. I scrub both sides, between my fingers and under my fingernails, and I sing happy birthday twice while I do it. That's how I know I'm scrubbing long enough to kill germs. So here we go. Palms, backs, between fingers, thumbs, and fingertips. Do you sing happy birthday to you? Do you sing that song? If I cough or sneeze, I catch it in my elbow, like this. That stops germs from flying into the air, and it keeps them off my hands, too. All right. I try really hard not to touch my face because germs can get into my body through my eyes, nose, and mouth, but it's not an easy thing to remember. Sometimes I put a bug mask for a little while to help remind me. It stops my hands if I try to scratch my nose or rub my eyes, And it makes my parents laugh when they see me. See, here's his bug mask. He does look pretty funny. And it's very hard to not touch your face. I follow directions from my parents about not getting close to other people. For now, I don't hug our neighbors, the Greens, but I still say hi and wave. Here are his neighbors. And they're keeping 6 feet of distance, because you need to stay at least 6 feet, so longer than you can spread your arms out. I don't go to art classes right now or play with friends at the park, but I can still have fun. I make art at home, and today I had a video dance party with Arthur. It's not how my normal day goes, but that's okay. I know these changes aren't forever, and right now they are helping keep me and the people I love healthy and safe. There he is. Now that you know what Charlie does to be a germ buster, what kinds of things can you do? Do you have ideas about how to keep your hands away from your face? What kinds of fun things can you do at home? All right, there you go. I know this is a little bit different, but we want to help answer your questions, and we want to help take care of you and keep you healthy and safe. Bye-bye.